technologies for the railway industry. My name is Tomáš Kubíček, and within smart-TEC team, I'm responsible for international customers and international projects, and also for international railway community around SNCF customers. I would like to also welcome Mr. Scheller, who is the sales head of smart-TEC. And Mr.
Hello,
Scheller is
everybody.
responsible for all projects within the German territory, as well as he was focused on communication with with German customers in railway industry, like Deutsche Bahn or SSB, SBB or ABB customers. Together, we can offer you over 35 years experience in auto ID technology, RFID and NFC technology. And we as a smart-TEC, we are as well as a GS1 solution partner. We believe that you know GS1 organization, who is responsible for all the global GS1 standards. And we are involved in many working groups about standardization and development within the association. So what you should expect today from the webinar? Yeah, the railway industry is going through the digitalization. So what awaits for you today? We prepared for you some information about different RFID and auto ID technologies, which can be used for in the railway industry for railway operators as well as producers. We prepared for you some information about standards which we use, and we also prepare some information about the products, identification product, which we already developed for many different customers. So we would like to establish this webinar as a platform for sharing the information, for introduce to you best practices and some case studies which may be useful also for your daily work, and or maybe also innovative future challenges within your companies. So when we talk about successful digitalization, we can talk about successful mechanisms for digitalization. And it means, first of all, we need to establish appropriate standards that help us to unify the language we communicate, and we identify different parts within the system. In this way, we are capable to establish machine readable identifiers, and we can establish some automation processes and automation technology. Based on this, also we could be capable to provide some lifecycle management for all parts which has some identifiers. And thanks to automated capturing data, we are capable to manage the processes. And in such a way, we are capable to digitalize all not only the processes, but also the parts, items, and all parties involved. Stefan, maybe it will be better if we start with some use case, how we use the standardization identification technologies for some customers.
Yeah, Thomas, thank you very much. This is a great idea to start with a use case, and I also want to give you a really warm welcome also from my side. We have some time to go through all the solutions, and I'm really happy and I'm also proud to present this to you. And as I mentioned it in the comments, please just write your questions to the commenter section or send an email to info@smart-tech.com. And yes, as Thomas said, the railway industry has the challenging of managing many safety relevant and safety critical components over the entire product life cycle. For example, you can see here a wagon with a typical timber pallet. Special attention of every railway operator is paid to the bogies. These, with all their components, must be clearly identified and maintained until the end of their life. That is why, for example, wheel set identification plates are used. If we zoom in a bit, we can already see where the weak points of identification were in the past. Numbers were nailed into metal badge, and unfortunately, these numbers can no longer be read after a short time, and it's very difficult to produce a a good to decode, for example, which would simplify the recording. And everybody from you, I think everybody is used to use to decodes. ÖBB, Austrian railway operator, has therefore decided to use an RFID component with GS1 GIAI, which is also attached to the identification plate, the small part here. As you can see, even the GS1 to decode reaches its limits due to the heavy soiling. Nevertheless, the GIAI is always easily identifiable thanks to the RFID component and the GS1 EPC standard. RFID is based on, as I said, to the EPC electronic product code and makes it possible to identify the data without a direct line of sight and over long reading distances. Since the project, the solution has continued to improve greatly, and I'm really proud to show you even more in this area. And the bogies in the wheel sets, as I said, are of enormous importance for the railway industry. For this purpose, further projects were implemented with Deutsche Bahn, in which wheel sets are automatically captured with an RFID long-range reader. In the foreground, you can see the reader that can read the text up to 8 meters or even more. In practice, optimized reading ranges of approximately 1 to 1.5 to 2 meters have proven themselves. For example, ranges above this can otherwise read false text. So by end of the day, not only the biggest reading distance is important, but the best reading is really standardized. This system has become established and now also combined with measurement technology, EA, the train enters the maintenance hall and the measuring device can automatically determine values and store them for the desired wheel set. This procedure makes it possible very cheaply to generate a lot of important data for maintenance. In this case, the RFID technology is even capable of being read in fast-moving trains. And probably you know the distance from Munich to Berlin, where the ICE is driving far more than 200 kilometers per hour. RFID can be read even on high speed. Yeah, and how does the structure of a standardized labeling for railway operators look like? Here you can see the latest and one of the most advanced AutoID wheelset brands we have developed based on all the customer requirements. For the railway operators, it is important that the ident, in this case, an GIAI, which stands for Global Individual Asset Identifier, can be used until the end of its life. So it should last for several decades. That is why the GIAI is also identifiable with the human eye, A2D code, as well as RFID. And the small RFID chip is behind this dot. In this case, RFID is an important key technology due to its high robustness and the fact that it can be read despite being very dirty. And finally, high read ranges and simple and fast automatic reading offer many more optimization possibilities in the future. The rollout at Deutsche Bahn is underway, and more DB series are being retrofitted, as you can see here, for example, with the 430 series. This creates the basis for perfectly recordable identities and other applications, such as measuring wheels or other measurement data can be collected when the trains arrive in maintenance halls. Tomasz, I hope this use case was interesting for you and the audience.
Stefan, thank you very much for introducing this project to us, because this exactly shows what I said. Yeah, it means that we established in this project, we established appropriate standards for identifications of particular assets, enabling this also the serialization of the information which can be recorded, we established some automated capturing technology, and we established some system where everybody who is involved can share the data. And exactly, I think this is exactly what we are talking about today, that we need to identify the assets, we need to identify the objects which are part of the GS1 system community. So it means it can be not only like the assets, but it can be like a company location and locations, of course. It can be the products identifications, and of course it can be also assets, or it can be also some returnable items which can be used within the system, within the GS1 system identification, yeah, and which can use the standards of GS1. Then we were talking about the capturing technology. And of course, I suppose everybody knows barcoding technology, either 1D or 2D codes. But what can be new for many of the companies are the RFID and NFC technology, which can be also explained later on. But what we also say that we also try to establish some backwards compatibility with all the systems which are involved. It means that we usually combine the technologies into one particular product. And as well, we don't forget about the human beings that are capable also to read and work a friendly way with our solutions. And finally, we were talking about some database environment, some database platform where we could share the data, where the stakeholders could find the data and share the data within the community, within the industry, and also record the different type of events which are happening within the European territory. Um, in such a way, yeah, we are capable to create some kind of like a future railway industry market, yeah, where different stakeholders like producers, railway operators, or different service companies, yeah, can work together and exchange data. Yeah, we can establish some standard language for all stakeholders involved in this community.
And this is all
There are
over
many.
Europe. Thomas, one
So,
question from my side. One slide back, please. And I see here Switzerland, France, and Germany, and so on. Is this only an European project, or is it usable all over the world?
there are happening projects all over the world already, of course. Yeah, we are mainly, of course, working with the European customers, but we already have different type of customers from different continents.
Okay, really
So this
impressive.
is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I also heard that the Australians are doing a lot in this area as well. Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely the truth. And we are working with different customers, main railway operators in Europe, which are pushing these kind of standards forward. And actually, the situation is tremendously changing, and digitalization has progressed a lot. And we also expect that in the near future, yeah, we are capable to involve and also support different type of companies involved in the system. So the more companies and customers will get involved in it, the more benefits, yeah, we can get out of this. Yeah. And what is also important for the whole railway community is that when we have the full data, yeah, if there is any risk for potential dangerous situation, yeah, we can immediately react on this and save people's lives, or also some damages which can happen on the railway tracks, definitely. Stefan, maybe you could also mention some other type of projects which you were involved in.
Yeah, I would be happy to do this. And yeah, as you said, I want to mention one more point, and it's really fantastic because the GS1 organization, Global Standard Number One, is a worldwide non-for-profit organization, and you can use the standard all over the world. So if you have some parts or some boogies from Germany in Australia, you can easily identify it. And this is the great thing about it. And of course, Thomas, the development is moving on. And I can bring a nice thing to you here on the next slide. And As we said at the beginning, the revolution is gaining momentum. Today, we have the pleasure to show you a pilot project of a European market leader for wheel sets and axles in the heavy and light rail sector. The pilot will start this year on wheel sets for public transport, as you can see here. Portal axles will be uniquely marked with an SGTIN. SGTIN stands for Global Trade Identification Number, using different application identifiers as well. The special feature of this new type plate is that the 2D code can be scanned. NFC near-field communication, so your mobile phone, can be used to identify the plate as well, even if there's a lot of dirt on it. And finally, even RFID UHF can be used for reading over several meters. The plate thus combines three of the best auto ID processes, and you can use all the technologies everywhere where it's needed. And Thomas, we checked the audience, and as I saw correctly, we have a tech-savvy audience. So we would like to show you a bit of the inner workings of an RFID tag. Here you can see the microchip, which receives energy without a battery via the antennas from the RFID reader's reading field. And finally, this inlay is packed in a robust housing and receives a visual identification at least. So you can scan and code, and you can always identify NFC or UHF. Yeah. But if you work together with smart-TEC, we have something more for you. And we have learned today that RFID stands for high reading range. Here you can see a typical RFID and UHF antenna, and NFC for smartphone identification. And thanks to our modern antenna and chip technology, all detection devices can be used. And here you can see a combination which we also offer in our RFID tags. UHF for high-speed detection on the rail, and NFC for the use of smartphones. And later on, Thomas will explain some applications where wagons will be identified. And in this case, you can use your smartphone to encode wagon RFID tags via NFC and read them later on the track on high speed with UHF. And Thomas, finally, you know me pretty well already, and you know that I'm probably Europe's biggest RFID fan. But at the end of the day, it is important that users get the right auto ID technology for the application and needs. Therefore, I would like to show you a highly specialized solution that is available with RFID, but also with 2D code only. And everything is also based on the GS1 standards. Here, welding points of rails are made identifiable with a standardized GIAI via a GS1 data matrix code. And the audience is really well educated today. So the attentive observer will have noticed that immediately that it is the same data matrix twice. This was a specific customer request, which I would like to explain briefly. First, the welding is done. Then the 2D code rail clamp is hammered onto the rails. And in addition, a reference code for the protocol can be deducted. As you can see, the versatility of the solutions on the market is very good. And I think, Thomas, you have a few more solutions that you would like to show to us.
Stefan, thank you very much. You know that I appreciate very much your work and your developments which you did for railway industry, especially for different RFID identification products. And this is really amazing. And I'm also glad that I can share this information with our audience. Yeah. So first of all, we would like to focus on some infrastructure tags, yeah, infrastructure identification. It means that we are capable to identify different spots, like location points, within the infrastructure. Yeah. For this, we can, for example, use smart plate F4240. And as Stefan mentioned, this can be used for identification of welding points on the track. Yeah, we can equip these with the 2D codes. And if for the customer it makes some sense to further automate the information, we are also capable to equip this smart plate with RFID UHF tag. Yeah. In this case, you can establish communication up to 90 meters long. Of course, for the real applications, short read ranges are used. What is also very important product is the product for railway location. And this product we call rail block. This is a quite big, robust product. And this product can be integrated into the ground in such a way when you place the reader beneath the train. If you pass above this RFID tag, you are capable to locate the position of the train. Yeah, this can be especially used, for example, for different maintenance, for example, lubrication systems, when you need to know the exact position of the train to start providing the lubrication, or you need this information for passenger systems, or of course it can be used also for any type of train location system which needs to be used. Of course, these are the, the the products which we already developed, and we in our company we strongly focus on different type of customizations. So we are capable not only like to provide the same text, but we can also adjust the text to specific your applications. Or we also have many type of text in our portfolio for like we call them smart plates with 2D codes or RFID codes, which can be provided for your applications. And now I'm coming to the second part of the group of products which I would like to introduce, and these are the RFID tags for asset identifications or for MRO, yeah, for maintenance and repair applications. Yeah, one of the products which I would like to introduce is UHF on all surface label. It means that this label can be easily used on many different surfaces, and you can achieve the same reading distance. This is important to know that whatever RFID tag you know, it must be compatible with different surfaces, because on different surfaces it may happen that you may achieve different performance. And this label is adjusted for this kind of application, that it can achieve the same read range in all surfaces it is used. Yeah, so in for example, for this product, the read range can be up to 2 meter or 1.5 to 2 meter. Yeah, um, as in case you need a more durable solution. Yeah, and you need to equip the assets with some on-metal tech, we can provide you, for example, product Smartdome Freestyle F5020. Yeah, this
Tomasz,
product. Mhm.
sorry for the interruption, but we have one question and I want to answer it right now. From Anthony, would you advise in your use cases whether the tags were encoded with GS1 GAA standard 128, 128 or 202? And Anthony, this depends totally on the application, what you need. Normally, we use in these cases for the GAAI mostly the GS1 data metrics. Yeah, but of course you can also use some other codes if you want. But if you drop me an email, we can have a more detailed discussion about this also later on. Yeah, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for noting this and addressing this question. And I was talking about the PCB tech F5020. Yeah, this is specially used for on-metal applications, and you can achieve read ranges up to 8 meters. These type of product provide good robustness for railway industry. Yeah, you can also read it when it is, of course, when it is dirty, and we also are capable to provide it with some information which can be engraved on the surface of the tech. Yeah? And this is what I said also, that this can be used for backwards compatibility as well as a friendly working for your employees. Yeah, and the final product which I would like to introduce in this section is the SmartPlay F7030 UHF. Yeah, and this is especially useful for curved surfaces. For example, when you need to identify the bumpers or other type of curved or other type of assets where you have curved surface, and this tech can achieve read range up to 5 meters. You can of course use screws or cable ties, or you can mount it. Yeah, via the metallic ties around the asset. Yeah, and what is important that the support is made of stainless steel material. Yeah, 0.5 millimeter thick, and this material can be also bended, and this is why this can be very useful for this type of applications. Uh, Third area where we could potentially use and recommend RFID tags is so-called wayside monitoring. It means that within the infrastructure, we can establish the RFID gates, RFID reading points, and if we need to read the wagons, for example, within these reading points, we can equip the wagons with the RFID tags. Typically, the RFID tags are placed on each side of the train, yeah, to identify the correct direction of the train. The first type of tag we can use is SmartDom Freestyle F5147. Yeah, this tag is very robust and can achieve read range up to 10 meters. Yeah, we can of course provide it for mounting via screws or riveting, and also we have been providing it with different type of robust adhesives. But what is even more interesting, I would say, is the second type of product, which partially we already mentioned in previous presentation, and this is so-called dual frequency tag. It means that we can provide a tag with RFID technology and NFC technology as well. And this is especially important when you need to combine both advantages of these technologies. Yeah, the advantage for RFID is that you can detect the tag on a far distance, and the benefits of NFC is that you can use the smartphones, and in such a way you can easily pair the tags with particle wagons and the side of the wagons directly on spot. And in such a case, you can avoid any errors which can happen when, for example, you would do it like in advance, and then you need to fix the text on planned locations, and this can be then very useful also because you don't need to push your suppliers to equip your worker with some expensive RFID readers. So these are the additional benefits which you can get by using dual RFID and NFC tags. So we mention all the type of or different type of RFID, NFC, and GS1 identification solutions, and the target is to create some platform where we could exchange the data, where we could use one language to communicate and to share the information within the railway industry. What is important that we need to identify the parts to establish like a secure transportation within the European community, and this is one of the ways how we can do it. Stefan, I suppose that you have rich experience from your projects, so maybe you could also mention some of your words here.
Yeah, I'm also learning, and this is a continuous project. And the thing is becoming bigger and bigger. And this is the great thing that by end of the day, everybody worldwide can use it. And yeah, Thomas, thank you very much. And thank you for the attention. You can contact us directly, just scan the QR code or use the phone number or the email address. And of course, we have a couple of questions which I received, and we will have now some time left to answer these questions. And I would say, if you want to ask your questions directly, tell me in the comments. I can activate your camera. I can activate your microphone, or write them in the comments. And I think for the time which we still have, we go through the questions. And yeah, first one is for me. A good question. And who is GS1? Yeah, GS1 stands for Global Standard Number One. And GS1 is a neutral non-for-profit organization that provides industry-independent global standards for efficient processes between companies. One language for the business. The GS1 standards is supported by over 110 GS1 organizations worldwide, and this was my hint in the beginning, that even Australia and so on, we are all working now in the railway industry with the same system. Tomasz, maybe next question for you. What is the highest read distance for UHF?
Stefan, thanks a lot. Thanks for the question. I think this is very interesting questions for everybody who is going to deploy the RFID technology. And theoretically, in generally said, we can achieve the read ranges over 20 meters, yeah, via the passive RFID tags. But what is important and what is our role as a consultants within the smart-TEC team is to identify the appropriate applications of the customers and then suggest the appropriate text. Because in appropriate application, first of all, you don't need such a long read ranges, yeah. And second, yeah, the read range may be influenced by the different type of circumstances. One of them could be the reader settings, the antennas are used, and as well, this can be impacted by the RFID tag and RFID tag antenna which you use. And last but not least, yeah, as I already mentioned, the surfaces may also influence the read ranges. So we need to know all the conditions in which the tags are used, and based on this, yeah, we recommend appropriate solution.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue. Next question probably for me. Which parts must be labeled? Only bogies, are all C parts included? In general, I would say ideally all process relevant objects should be labeled according to the GS1 standard. However, the focus is first of all on the parts that are really relevant for you. Yeah. Okay, now another good question from Anthony in the comments. I heard European Union is going to shift to US UHF frequency range, 920 megahertz, right? And when? This is really a good question, because there are some standardization and harmonization things are going on. I can't answer this question in detail, Anthony, but we are also a member of the AIM Association for Automatic Identification, and I know that they are working on this process. And please send me your email address, and I can give you more details about the frequency harmonization in the UHF area, because Anthony is absolutely right. In Europe, we use a different frequency band for UHF, and in Japan a different one, and in the US, and this caused some problems from time to time. But by the end of the day, and at the moment, the solution is to use broadband tags. But Anthony, please send me your email address and I will answer this in detail later on, when and what exactly. I wrote my email address to in the comments. Okay, then what else have we got? Thomas, this question for you: what kind of durability can you provide? I think the RFID tags are meant. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, durability in the railway industry is very important, and as you could notice, we could provide different type of solutions. Yeah, we only selected like the main product types. Yeah, new innovative product types, and of course we can provide different type of durability solutions, starting from simple labels for one-time use to more sophisticated sandwich labels, or as I also introduce, some kind of robust hard text, even for temperatures above 200 degrees. Yeah. And this is very important to for us to know at the beginning when we analyze the situation, what kind of conditions are going to be used in that project, because it from time to time it happens that we don't receive this information, and then of course we have to start again with the project because we found out that, for example, customer has been using some aggressive chemicals and detergents in that particular applications. I would cover it in this way. We are capable to address different type of durability requests, but we need to analyze it and evaluate it based on all the data which and where all the parameters which are needed.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and let's continue. We talked a lot about all the standards and shortcuts and so on. And here's a question to an important word. What is an electronic product code, EPC? The electronic product code is an identification scheme for universally identifying all physical objects. For example, all trade items, assets, and locations via RFID tags. And of course, you also can use other data capturing techniques. And EPC always relates to a serialized number. So this is always unique. Yeah. Okay. Thomas, probably one of the last questions for you. Maybe I didn't make myself clear enough, but what is the advantage of dual frequency tags?
Okay, thanks. Thanks again for these questions, because I think this is very important to understand. Yeah. So on one hand, we have what is important to say that if we speak about the dual frequency, it means we are speaking about RFID and NFC in one chip. So it is one chip that has dual interface, and we can use it for long distance communication. Yeah, to detect the assets on the longer read ranges. And at the same time, we can use the benefits of the smartphones and NFC-enabled smartphones, and we can use the applications, or we can read via the NFC phone, or we can even write the NFC text, because the one chip provides the benefits that we have the shared memory for both technologies. So this both information can be written in the same chip.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Next question for me. What is the difference between RFID and NFC? This is always a good question, because RFID stands for RFID, radio frequency identification, and NFC for near field communication. And in detail, when you use the smartphone to read RFID tags with 13.56 megahertz, yeah, so the frequency 13.56 megahertz NFC works like RFID. The smartphone behaves in this case like an RFID reader. However, RFID has more frequency bands than NFC, as we told you earlier, e.g. UHF for very long reading ranges. But in this case, you need special RFID readers. And NFC is like RFID in some areas. Yeah. Okay. Another good question. Anthony is really getting an award today for good questions. He's asking, Thomas, may I know what is the maximum train speed for smart-TEC could be used? Any high-speed train in the used your product? Anthony, I can tell you that it works completely on all the ICEs, even on the high-speed track from Munich to Berlin. And the tags which we provide are really sensitive. By end of the day, it's also depends on the angle of the UHF antenna. Yeah. So it's when you use UHF for high-speed detection, it's a little bit like you use a lamp. You have to increase the reading field like this, and then you have more time to detect the tag. So the tag is really sensitive, but you also have to combine it with the right UHF antenna so that there's enough time to empower the chip and read it out. Yeah, so it also depends on the complete system. And I know that the ICE, there's no problem, even on the high-speed track. But by end of the day, you need to test the complete system, but we can provide you all the information. And also, we have also some good partners, RFID reader partners, which can offer the right RFID UHF reader and the right antenna to do a high-speed detection. And yeah, 200 kilometers per hour is no problem, and even faster if you do the right setup. Okay. Next question for you, Thomas. What is the purpose of the rail block tag? The big thing. I think you did explain some details, but maybe you can say some words more to it.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. I was mentioning it that it can be integrated or put it in the ground, and it can be used for allocation of the train position. But what is important to say that the tag was designed for very harsh conditions. So it means what can happen in different parts of the world that, for example, the tech must be working also if there is a rain, if it is a little bit underwater, and it must be read in this type of conditions. So first of all, the tech has very sensitive antenna, and second, also it has a special curved surface which avoids keeping water on the tag, but at the same time, you can even read the tag when it is under the water.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Yeah, and I'm checking here parallel our LinkedIn, and if you want for the rail block, we have a special video where you can see how it is be read underwater. I think the video is 6 minutes. You can watch it later if you want. Okay. Next question. Maybe I do the next one, Thomas. You are talking so much. Why should I use 2D codes when RFID is the best technology? Yeah, this is also a good question because I'm really a big fan of NFC and RFID technology. But by end of the day, we always recommend use as much Auto ID technology as possible. So our tags are really durable and they are meant to live really long. And you don't know, maybe you can use UHF mostly, but in some case you simply wanted to scan it to decode. And by end of the day, it's not so expensive to also add into decode. Yeah, so if you laser engrave and tag or print into decode on it, it's a little bit more expensive, yet, but you have more possibilities in the future. Okay, Anthony, again, thank you very much. Why there is a need to combine NFC and UHF together in your hardtech? Are they have the same code in GS1 standard? Yeah, this is also a really good question. The need comes from the customers. Yeah, in the beginning, GS1 was really focused on UHF, and UHF is maybe the best technology for everything, for the whole supply chain. But the disadvantage of UHF is that you always need special reader equipment. Yeah, you need an UHF handheld reader, or you need a long-range UHF reader. And a lot of customers, especially from the railway industry, had the idea that they also want to use their mobile phone. And it's called bring your own device. And why bring your own device? Because it's cheaper. I don't have to buy any UHF handheld reader. And if you have different workshops, it's sometimes easier that the operator is using his own mobile phone, and you simply let him download an application, and then you can identify the text with your mobile phone, or the operator have a business smartphone and so on, and he can simply use it. And there was a lot of pressure to do more with NFC because of these reasons. And in the future, it looks like this, that most of the railway operators would like to use both NFC and UHF. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Anthony. We really had this idea some years ago, and now we have some good techs on the market, and I'm happy that the customer also wants to have them. Okay. Yeah, oh, wow, Thomas, time is over. I think we are 1 minute over our time. I really want to thank everybody, especially Anthony, for the good questions. And Anthony, I tried to answer the harmonization question later on because I asked our product manager, and I will receive an answer in probably 1 minute, but we are out of time. So please send me an email, and we will clarify the frequency question later on, or maybe 10 minutes. I will soon receive an answer, but let's do it later on. And thanks everybody for listening, and have a nice day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.